Hello everyone. Hello Flutter Mumbai. I hope everyone is doing good. And thanks Yash and Flutter Mumbai and also like the other organizer who are hosting me today. I greatly appreciate you on like attending this session because um, it's like very excited for me and I hope like it's very excited for you too, right? So as I have said before, like today we are going to see how to build smarter apps with the Flutter and machine learning. Um, so the agenda of the session is like the high level overview of the Flutter and also like the machine learning stuff. I do like a mobile and also like the machine learning thing, but I'm from like a Xamarin platform side. I recently learned Flutter. That means like a last couple of years. I'm like continuously following Flutter, like what are the things that's going on there and all. So you can consider me as like a Flutter expert, but not as like you guys because you're having like a hands-on stuff and everything, right? But I can like touch you the overall concept and how everything going on. And the second thing is like I'm going to show like a couple of demos on Google Cloud Platform machine learning offerings, like how to build machine learning models and all. And also, I'm going to explain the concepts on like how we can run the machine learning inference on device and edge. I have used this machine learning inference for my IoT devices project. So I have exported the machine learning TensorFlow like models to run like a edge devices. Edge devices, it might be like a mobile devices or it might be like any IoT devices, right? So the edge devices, we need like the near real time uses because since you are like running the machine learning model in like a device itself, it should not be doing like any round trip to the cloud. It should be doing in the device. So and also like it need to take a quick decision based on like either visual or like any actual representation, right? Um, so doing that one is a big challenge, including like how we are going to deploy the models, how we are going to train the models. In case my model is trained, how I'm going to push the model to the device to run on like updated edge. And the other thing is like, okay, I have updated my model and I am running my model. How I am getting the result back to that cloud so that I can improve my model back. So there are like a complete workflow pipeline. I have already take this on like some of the other presentation. Today I'm going to touch like the high level bit of that and how we can do that in like the Flutter application. And definitely Flutter needs like more improvement. So I'm going to give you like some suggestion like these are the things Flutter need improvement. So if any open source enthusiast is go there and try to look at that and try to implement that. So that piece of advice also I'm going to look. So that's how I have planned this session today with this agenda. So if you have like any questions, let me know. And yeah, let me stop like if you want any questions to answer. Right. Okay. The introduction about me, I think if you have attended the Flutter Day India, I think I have give the same introduction there. If you don't know, then my name is Shiva Muthukumar. I'm working as software architect in CEI, Computer Enterprise Inc. My main focus is on like a cloud, mobile, IoT, machine learning, right? So I do like a lot of Kubernetes stuff, IoT, and everything in like both Google and Microsoft worlds. And I'm from Orlando, Florida. I'm very honored and also like excited to speak in like in meetups that's happening in India standard time zone because that's where like I'm from, right? So I need to participate in this, and thanks COVID for like having these kind of more meetup opportunities. And if you want to follow me in the Twitter, you can follow me in like a to Twitter handle. So let's start with the Flutter, right? No introduction needed for like a Flutter for you guys. But in case like if anyone is coming as like a new, or if anyone like hearing this meetup as like new, Flutter is like a Google UI toolkit to build like a beautifully natively compiled application. So I was like there for like the mobile development for like a last 10 years. For a decade, there is always some debate going on in like a platform. Either it's like natively built or cross-platform. right? Because natively built, that's giving like a high performance, and you can access like the native device APIs at everything in like the next day support. That means like whenever the new OS is placed in iOS or Android, if you are building in the native application, that feature would be available in the native API, right? But in case the other point, like we need to reduce the cost of development, right? That's why we started looking into the hybrid mobile approach, like a HTML, rendering that in the web view. And if we want to contact the native, or if we want to access the native API, we use the code or like a JavaScript bridge to contact with that native API. So that thing was like going, but then there is a new technology change coming in that was like a natively adjacent approach. So that's where like the React Native, Flutter, Xamarin, those are like trying to write the program in like a C sharp or like any language what they want to, and that's rendering the application in like the native way. So still we are trying to share the code base, but it's rendering in the native way. In that in that line, Flutter is like a really a game changer, because the other platforms is mostly working on like still rendering the native API, but each and every buttons or like each and every elements that's rendered in the UI, it should be rendered in the native element. But Flutter comes with like the widget rendering engine, so everything is like widget. So whatever you are rendering that's on like widget rendering engine only, it's not going to affect on the native API. So whatever you're seeing here, everything is on like that rendering engine only. So that's making like a true cross-platform application. So you are building your application like very productively, right? Still you are carrying the code, and you don't worry about like any UI changes that's coming from the native OS platform. Everything is coming from the widget rendering engine, so you are not worrying about like the custom renderers or something like that. If you are like Xamarin developer, know like the pain of how you need to write the custom renderer for like creating the buttons and everything. Flutter, it's giving like a high class support for these ways. And also, like the Flutter is expanding its territory, like a web, desktop, and even like embedded apps. You can use this Flutter and reuse these Flutter widgets in like anywhere, right? So that's the cool thing about Flutter. I think you already know about that. So today I'm going to talk about like the other part of my talk is like a machine learning. So the machine learning, we have like these three things, right? The first thing is the artificial intelligence. So this is like the high level approach in this machine learning. So the AI is nothing but like the science of getting machines to do the things like how they do in the movies. So what that means is like it's trying to mimic the human behavior. What human will do is human will use like the previous experience and try to take the decisions based on the previous experience, right? So that same thing the machine also trying to do based on like the previous experience or like the data what we are feeding into the system. It's trying to understand like what data is trying to input, and based on that experience it's trying to take the decisions. So that's what like the artificial intelligence is like the high umbrella term. And if you go deep into that, there are like a machine learning that is called subset of artificial intelligence. So it's nothing but like the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. What does that mean is like in traditional program, what we usually do is uh, we are uh, we are having this input and we are having this program out, right? In traditional program, we write a program and we are giving the input and we are expecting the output. But in the machine learning, it's a little bit different. Instead of like writing a program, we are just saying like, okay, this is my output. Try to learn whatever that is, and I'm giving like input. Do your program on yourself by having this output. So we are not going to write a program in the machine learning. We are trying to give like the data, and also we are saying like, okay, these are different types of algorithm you can use, or you can choose your algorithm by your own. That's called AutoML. So either you can like choose a algorithm, and also like either you are trying to do like the AutoML stuff. So we are just like feeding with lot of data, So that data is going to decide like what is the output of the model. So the model is the programming here. So machine is going to give you the model, and you are going to just give like the output. That means like the previous data and also like the input data for verification. And the third term in like the machine learning is like a deep learning. Deep learning is based on the deep neural network, right? Um, so today, with this understanding of the machine learning, today I'm going to talk about like what are the different building blocks the Google's provided for like the artificial intelligence, and also how we integrate that into the Flutter mobile application. So we have this AI building block. So the artificial intelligence building blocks, as I have said before, it's trying to mimic the human behavior, right? So the human behavior, the three couple of major human behaviors in like the machine learning or like even in the human behavior is sight, language, also like the conversation. So as a human, we are trying to see certain things, we are trying to classify between them, or like we are seeing some things and try to group based on certain attributes. And the same thing, like we are doing a lot of things like language. We understand like what is the context of the language, and if we know like two languages, we easily translate that. So there are like a certain language capabilities, sight capabilities, and also like the conversation. We are good at like the conversation because the human conversation knows like reading between the lines and also know like what's the context and how we need to reply. Everything's like doing pretty fast, right? But we are trying to do the same thing with the machine, but the machine needs like more and more data so that they know like how to do that. If they are not doing that, then we need to like learn or like do that try to say like the machine learning like give the feedback like whether that's correct or not so that they can update the model. So that kind of things we need to do. So the artificial intelligence building blocks, it's mostly including like capabilities of sight, that means the vision API, or language like a translation or extracting the main factors of the language or like main attributes from the text. And the third thing is like chatbots, like a conversation, uh, so that like we can do the chatbot or we can do the conversation from the machines, so that it just like walk through the entire flow of ordering a restaurant order, right? Or like a entire flow of like a booking a flight or booking a hotel. So we are trying to do that in everything in like the machine learning stuff in the automated way. So Google provides like the spectrum of artificial intelligence block. So let's say like this. Right? So the left hand side we have this machine learning APIs. That's mean like it's on the pre-trained models. What is that it would do is Google has like the common solution to the common problems. If I need to identify between like a dog or cat, or I need to identify the labels, I need to identify the landmarks, or I need to identify the face features. So there are like a certain common problem. Google has already built these pre-trained models with the existing data, and they have given this access to the pre-trained model through the APIs. So you can just like call the HTTP APIs, just say like, okay, what are the objects available in this picture? Or upload the picture of Taj Mahal and say like, oh, hey, I don't know what this landmark is. Can you give some more information on that? Or like the translate API, you can just say like, say something in Tamil or Hindi. You can just say like, okay, translate them back to English so that I can understand. So that kind of things Google is providing for like the pre-trained model, the machine learning APIs. So this is like easy to integrate, right? Because it's pretty straightforward. But in the right hand side, we have this the machine learning engine and the deep learning VMs. This is mostly used for your custom models. What does that mean is like if I have like a specific business use case, uh, let's say like I'm owning a steel factory, I need to do the visual inspection of steel factory, like whether it's defect or it's like pretty good steel, right? So that kind of visual inspection if you need to do, then I need to build a custom model so that I can do that in machine learning uh, stuff. So in the machine learning API would not be helpful for my custom business use case. But if I have a data for like do the training, I can use the Google Cloud infrastructure like a machine learning engine or like deep learning VMs. The machine learning tools such as like a TensorFlow or like a Keras. So using these kind of like a machine learning libraries, I can train the model in the VMs and use that model for my predictions or like for my classification. So that's the right hand side of the spectrum. So we have like the easy integration, we have like the custom business integration, and Google introduced like this Cloud AutoML. This is like right between these both end of the spectrum. Let's say like I have a custom model, but I don't have like enough expertise on like the machine learning to understand like what's the concept of machine learning and what's deep learning, or I don't have like enough expertise in like the machine learning stuff. But still, I want to do the POC, I want to do the proof of concept, or even I want to do like the minimal production level machine learning thing. Then I can use the Cloud AutoML. So Cloud AutoML, how that works is it just like get you the images or like get you the different type of documents. You can just label like what are the different type of images, what are the different type of documents. Then if you start training the model, then what it do is it try to train the model based on the data you gave and also like based on the tags you have tagged for your documents or images. Then it try to build a machine learning algorithms. So in things like AutoML, you don't need to specify like any parameters like hyperparameter tuning or like any other machine learning specific parameters. So the AutoML, it would be like keep on training and try to identify these parameters and algorithm based on like the best fit models by trying different algorithms. And once everything is like good, then it would give that model for your use. You can use that model for like a prediction and everything. So so that's what like that's how this the Google GCP ML offerings provide this spectrum. So any application or like anyone can use their machine learning models based on their use case. Um, and let's see like what are the different machine learning APIs. So this is where like we are going to use it in the mobile, right? So in the machine learning APIs, they have this cloud vision, cloud speech, natural language, video intelligence, and translation. So the vision is everything related to the images, classification, or like object detection, that kind of thing. And natural language, this is used for like the conversational bots as well, so that like it can understand what they are trying to say, and also it can extract like the important entities in the conversation, so that we can continue with like the conversational part. Let's say like I need to book a flight from Orlando to Chennai or like Dubai, and then try to identify like okay, the source place is Dubai and the destination place is Chennai, right? So it's the cloud natural language. It's trying to extract that kind of entities from that text. And also we have the video intelligence and the translation. Video intelligence, it index like all the objects and all whatever that's happened in that video. So if you are looking for like this specific video, for example, let's say like okay, give me the incident, uh, any like let's say like some dog entered into the cricket field, right? So you can just say like search for that, then it would be pulling that particular video from like the video library. So it's having it would be indexing that like the entire video with the individual frames, and you can easily query that complete video so that you can go and search for that a particular frame of that video. And for like the machine learning APIs, we have this label detection. I think I have already said some of these. The one important thing I need to say here is like, other than these label phases and OCR, the one important thing is like the product search. So this is one of the feature I feel like they are integrating with like the big the high level product search in like the shopping site or like any other merchandise site. So in like in here, I think in one of the biggest theme park, they have this shopping site as well. So what the product search is doing is, let's say like okay, I need to find a yellow dress with some specification, or like I need to find a nice shoe with like a specific characteristic on shoe, right? So then what it to do is it try to go through like the your product images and also your product descriptions, and it try to identify like what we exactly search for and try to pull that product back into that application. So there are like a lot of applications we can do with this machine learning. Um, there are like already available. The one thing machine learning right now doing is it's very easy to integrate into your application. So by adding like this kind of like a simple feature that's powered by machine learning or like artificial intelligence that enhances your user experience on using the product, right? When it comes to the mobile application, that's like more important, right? Because we have everything. We have all tools to build the application. The only success or like the only measure of success how the application is like successfully launched. The only thing is like how the users are using and whether it's adding any value to the user. So to add the value to the user, if we have like the domain, we can use that. But adding these kind of like a machine learning things, even if it is a small bit, um, so if you add that kind of like the machine learning stuff into your application, that would be taking your application into like a different level, and also it will separate you from like the your competitors because you are adding more values and it's making your users life easier, right? So let's see like how we can do that, how we can integrate that into like the mobile application. So before that, yeah, this thing I will explain later. So there are like a couple of other fields also you can use like energy, for example. If you have like any energy side, let's apply the machine learning to understand like why the why the blood change. They usually got like $60 or like $50 charge for like every month. Why they are getting it for like $85 or like try to track the usages, right? And also you can use it for like the auto, finance, entertainment, media, manufacturing, and agriculture and retail. And also the other thing I said, I want to say like the machine learning is not only about like driving the autonomous car or like doing that kind of stuff. You can like talk simple thing by just improving the user experience. For example, let's say like your application has a review page, right? If they are doing the review based on the review text they are typing, if they are typing any root text or something like that, right? You can detect that using the machine learning and say like, hey, I just want you to remind you can give like a nice comments, right? Even that kind of like a simple thing, it would be improving and also like it would be giving like a good experience for your applications. So that kind of thing can do, and with this kind of like you can use the pre-trained machine learning APIs or AutoML or even like the TensorFlow TPUs and other things. Okay, now we will see like how we can integrate this machine learning with Flutter application. Do you have any questions before I just give like the high level introduction? If you want to know like any specific thing, I can talk about that as well. Oh, um, so for the Flutter integration, Google has provided this ML kit, right? So the ML kit is a machine learning specifically targeted for the mobile developers. Not only machine learning for like iOS, native iOS or native Android. So all of these Google machine learning features, that is like packed into this library or like packed into this service, so that you can easily integrate these machine learning capabilities into your application, iOS application, Android application, and now Flutter application, right? So you can use this ML kit. So the ML kit is nothing but like one of the Firebase products or like the service. So if you create a project in Firebase, you have like the machine learning tab, right? So in that one, they are having this machine learning kit mainly targeted for like the optimized for mobile. And as I have said before, it has like fast and real-time predictions and also like on-device machine learning inference. So whatever that you are trying to do, like the image detection or like a face detection, they are not hitting the cloud API. Everything is going to happen on like a device itself. And also it's easy to use APIs, like using the pre-trained or the custom models. The machine learning kit is like a complete machine learning service. You can use it for like any mobile application development. And they have this vision and natural language APIs. I will show like how we can create the Flutter, that means create the Firebase application and see like what are the different machine learning kit features. So here I have this applications. So one of the application is like a ensure mask. I will show here. And like in Firebase, we have like multiple services that can be used for mobile, right? So like authentication or storage, even you can use for like any other service serverless functions. So they have this machine learning tab as well. If you go to the machine learning tab, they have like multiple APIs, including like the vision and language APIs, like text recognition. So you can extract the text from images, image labeling, face detection, and everything. And they have this AutoML feature as well. So this is one of the feature. You can just like add the data set. So here I have added this board data set, right? So you can add the data set and you can label the data set. And once everything is done, your training would be completed. And if you go to the completed training, you can test the model and also like you can use the model. So you can simply download this model. This is like the TensorFlow Lite model. So you can simply download this and use it in your Flutter application as well. So that's how it works. I will try to show with the demo. Before I'm going to show a couple of code snippets how we can use the vision APIs and natural APIs. Then I'm going to show the demo on like how we can do the custom model demo with the Flutter. So for the vision APIs and natural language APIs, the one thing you need to do is you need to add this Firebase ML kit. So if you go to the Flutter pub.dev, you have this Firebase ML Vision packages. So the Firebase ML Vision, and also they are having like Firebase ML language also. So if you see like this packages that's coming from the Firebase, so this is where like you can integrate your machine learning APIs into your Flutter application. As everything go, like you can get the instruction from like here, how to add these packages as library and how you can install and how you need to import this. And once you import it, you are good. And the other thing you need to do is you need to create a project in Firebase. Sorry. You need to create a project in Firebase. And in case you are using in like iOS or Android, you need to configure that. For that, just go to the settings, project settings here, and you can create like the iOS application and download the Google service info.plist. So this info.plist is like all the information that's required to connect to your Firebase service. So you need to configure this in your Flutter project. So you can download this info.plist and put it in like the root directory of your iOS. So once you have provided that, and once you install this Firebase ML Vision package, you are good to integrate with the machine learning APIs that's given by Firebase into the Flutter application. And once you're done, it has this Firebase Vision package included. So they are having like a different services they have provided. One's like a barcode detector or cloud image labeler or like face detector. So these are the APIs we have seen before, right? So they are having these everything in this namespace. So you can just like use this detector. And the next thing is you need to get the image, and using that Firebase Vision image object, you can use this detector like a barcode detector or like a face detector. You can either process image or you can detect an image to get these features. For example, if you are trying to see like is there any face in that particular image, or if you are trying to read a barcode from that particular image, like barcode scanning. And also you can see like is there any other cloud labels is like uh, cloud labels is like this certain set of labels that have landmarks or like any other features that would be listing. So you can simply use that detector and try to pass that image and get all these labels. For example, here I'm trying to get like the cloud image label. So from that label, I'm getting like what text it is and what is the entity ID, what is the confident. So these are label I got extracted from that image. So this like a simple steps to integrate, right? So just you need to set up a Firebase project. You need to integrate this uh, Flutter package, the Firebase ML Vision, and pass the image and get all that information. All these things happening on your device. It's not on like the cloud API. And also they have like provide the option in case if you want to hit the cloud API, you can use that for like a cloud API as well. But everything is in like on device machine learning inference. That would be like very fast. Um, any small example, if I click picture of invoice, I want to get all data. Yeah, you can use like the OCR API. So using the OCR API, if you are having like you can extract the text from like any invoice. Based on like the data you are getting, you can like extract that specific field. For example, invoice number or something like that. You can take that. Recently we have integrated this kind of application. So what it does is like they are having this mobile application, and they need to do the invoice search. So instead of typing the number, they can just like scan that the invoice receipt, they got it in the email. So that would be taking the invoice number, extract that invoice number, and search it in the web. So we have done that. So that would be working pretty good. Um, any other questions? Okay. Now I will move to this the simple demo. Classify the boards. So now we are going to create a custom model using this AutoML Vision, and we are going to use certain model in the Flutter application. I have like the other demo also. I will try to show like both demo and see how that goes. So for the board classification, what I did is I have this data set. So I have this data set. So here I have 5 different boat types, right? Cruise, ferry, gondola, kayak, and sail. And each folder I have like a different images. So if you say like a cruise, it has all cruise ship, and like a ferry, it has like the ferry pictures. Gondola is like this type of boat. So we have this gondola pictures here, kayaking, and the sails boat. So I have put like the boat pictures into these 5 categories. Then to create like the AutoML Vision, I try to create using like the Firebase. Also, you can try to create you can use the same thing for like even the Google Cloud platform. You can use it, but they have integrated the same service in Firebase as well. So today I'm going to create that using like the Firebase. So go to the machine learning tab, and they have this AutoML. So this is like the pre-trained APIs, and in the custom tab, you can just like upload the TensorFlow Lite model if you want. In the AutoML, this is where we are going to upload the images and train. So what I did is I add the data set. Um, okay, I reached the limit. So I have this data set. I uploaded like all these images in zip directory. Since I have put it in like a separate folder, it tried to create like the label based on that folders. So I have like 250 images, 50 images each for like the label. And once I have uploaded, everything is good. Then it starts training. Training is like it's trying to spin like the virtual machine and try to train your model. So here, once everything is like trained, I got like the metrics to evaluate, right? So here I'm seeing, okay, this is having 93.59 precision and 90.91 precision, like overall high precisions. And also I have like the confusion matrix. The confusion matrix is nothing but like the kayak is confused with sailboat 20%, or like the cruise is confused with a sail and ferry like 20%. So based on this confusion matrix, you can add like more data. You can add like the clear data so that like it would be avoiding these kind of like the confusion. Or if you want like more trained model, you need to update the data and like train more higher. So we have this. So we have this model ready, right? So once a model is ready, how we can use it in the device? That's the next question, right? Usually, whenever like we are trying to integrate the machine learning in like Flutter application, what we usually do is we take the model, the TensorFlow Lite model. It would be like 2 MB or 10 MB based on your like data sets and the. So you take the model and add it in the assets folder and deploy it along with your application, right? So that's how we usually do. We need to do the like on-device inference. So your model has to be in the device. But Firebase machine learning, that's providing like the additional concepts as well. It's providing like both remote model and also the local model. So in case if you are using like the machine learning kit library, you can point it to the remote model, and also you can provide like the fallback as a local model. So whenever the remote model is updated, it would be notified to the application that remote model would be downloaded into your device. So that would be very helpful whenever you want to update your model, or if you want to improve your model, you can do that using this Firebase machine learning capabilities. So here, I need to use the model, right? So use the model, as I have said here, like you can download the model, and also you can publish the model and configure like the fallback model as your local model, so that whenever the new changes coming in, it will be downloading, but it would not be hitting that cloud on like events. So you can do either of this thing. Right now, to keep it simple, I just like downloaded this here. And once I downloaded, I'm going to open this Flutter application. So what I did is I put it in the assets model dict.tf so this label has like what are the labels and the TensorFlow Lite model that's optimized for like running in the mobile device. And to add like the TensorFlow Lite integration, in the pubspec.yaml, I have added the dependency, which is like TensorFlow Lite, right? So here, what I'm doing is in the main.dot, I'm trying to load the model here. So what I said is like, okay, TensorFlow Lite, load my model, and the model is in this path, and the labels is in this dict.text. And once I load the model, and if user is taking the picture, and if we get like the picture there, we need to do the classification, right? So what we are doing is, once we get like the get image from the image picker, I'm trying to classify the image. In the classify image, I'm using like the TensorFlow Lite run model on image. So in the run model on image, I'm passing the image path. And also it has like the other function like a run model on binary or run model on frame. In case if you want to do like the real time camera preview, you can use like run model on frame to get like the frame like every second. Right now I'm using like this run model on image here. Okay, so now this is good, and once I'm getting the recognition or like the result, I'm getting this result back. I'm getting the first result, available result, because that is the higher confidence rate, right? So with this one, let's say like if I'm running this application and I'm choosing this image, let's say like I'm choosing this image, it's running this inference and say like it's a sailboat, right? So everything is happening on the device. So in case like there is no network, that time also it would be working. Let's say like the other picture, it's running this inference and say like the kayak here. So this how like you need to create a custom model either in like a Firebase or like a Google stuff, and export that model in the TensorFlow Lite and integrate that with the Flutter application. So you can run this inference in your device. Okay, I increase the font size. Do you want to specifically see like any code, Nista? Okay, only two thing here is like loading the TensorFlow Lite model with mod and label, and when you are in the inference, you need to run model on image with the image. That's like the simple thing you can do for this. Okay. And the other demo I have done is like pretty much it's a real-time edge detection model example. I don't have like that example like a camera preview, but I have the video recorded before. I will share that video. That would be giving you like how I have done those real-time edge detection model. Right. Okay. The other application I have done is like since we are in the COVID, um, I have done this mask detection project, right? So for this one, instead of like Firebase, I have directly used this Google Cloud Platform. So pretty much the same thing. Like I have used the AutoML Vision for this. So I have this the mask detector. So I have uploaded the data set that has pictures with the mask and without mask, and I have labeled like each picture like the mask label and no mask label here, right? And once everything like I have uploaded, I have added this train, and I train the new model, and I see the evaluation, and once everything is good, I can test and use. So in the use, they are having like a two different type, right? One is cloud hosted model and another one is edge model. So in case if you want to integrate with like your Flutter application, or in case if you want to integrate with your like IoT devices or something, you can use this edge deployed model. So whenever you are training, it will be asking that option. So here I have downloaded this TensorFlow Lite, but in case like if you want to use it in like the Raspberry Pi or like any IoT devices, you can use this like the Coral as well, so that you can run like the high uh, inference, like a fast inference that would be running on your Raspberry Pi device. I have the video for that. Give me a second. this is the one of the meetup I have done for like the Orlando IoT meetup. This is also pretty much similar to that, like the Google Cloud platform, machine learning stuff. But how to run this on like the IoT devices. So I have used this the USB accelerator, but also they are having like a Google Coral dev board. In case if any of you interested in like a Flutter with IoT, because I have done that kind of project, so you can control like all your IoT devices with like the Flutter application. So if you are interested in that, I would be sharing this video. You can see that the video would be mainly focusing on like how to run this on like a Raspberry Pi, right? So, so in this demo, I have shown like the same thing, like the mask. Uh, 1 second. So you can see like whenever I'm trying to touch my face, it's detecting like I'm trying to touch my face, and it says like it's a danger or safe. Since this is like the COVID thing, we don't need to touch our face, right? So I have created this model and running using like the Raspberry Pi. So whatever you are seeing is from the Raspberry Pi. So what it's doing is it's trying to infer using this Edge TPU device. You can see like how fast this is doing the inference, like a 5 milliseconds. The same thing if you are doing it in your CPU or anything, it would be taking like at least 100 to 200 milliseconds. So that kind of like a fast edge TPU also you can do the same process. The only thing is how we are running on the TPU. I shared this video in case like if you are interested, and also like in case if you are interested to play with the Flutter and IoT devices, you can do that as well. Okay, question from Yash. We can also keep the model in Firebase to reduce the app size, right? I mean, is it feasible? We can do, but the problem is each and every inference you need to load that model in your TensorFlow Lite framework, right? So the main thing is like we need to avoid the round trip. Everything should be on the device, so that would be it's fast. Uh, but in case to reduce app size, that's what like the machine learning kit, the ML kit is providing the option. Instead of providing the fallback, you can provide the remote model URL, and at the app initialization time, it just download the remote model URL and put it in one of the directory, and the next inference that would be running from the directory itself. In case like the model is updated, the same thing, it just like updated the new model in your device, so that like your initial app size that would be reduced, and also it would be it would be downloading the model at first time and reuse the model from local, like in like for usage. I hope that answered your question. Yes, is it right? Okay, good. um, so for the same demo here, like the mask, this one I'm trying to use like, because the mask wear is like very very important, right? Because if I wear the helmet, I'm safe. If I wear like the seatbelt, I'm safe. But in this COVID situation, this is like very unusual thing, right? I need to wear mask for like the other people's safety. So I'm trying to create this application um, where this can be used between friends, or like this can be used between service personnel or like delivery person and home, right? In case they want to do some interaction, they are trying to ensure like they have wear the mask, both side they need to ensure, and then only like they can open the door and answer the questions or something like that. So I'm trying to create this application. So let's say like we have two users in online, Shiva and Yash. In I need to ensure like I wear the mask, so I'm going to click this user, and I'm going to upload the image here, like I wear the mask or not. So I need to extend this application so that like once I wear the mask, then that image should be posted to Yash, and Yash say like, okay, he wear the mask and he need to take picture. with the mask and say like, okay, I also wear the mask, then only like the transaction will be happen. The transaction here is like, I will open the door and talk with Yash, that kind of. So that's what I'm trying to do in this application, so that like the inference that would be happen on the device, but the other interaction that would be sync with the Firebase. So in case like the same thing, in case you don't wear the mask here, it's doing like, okay, you didn't wear mask, so it would be notified Yash like, okay, he didn't wear mask, don't open the door or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So with this one, um, I think I'm good for the demo. But there are like a couple of things I have notified when I see like the integrating with the machine learning with the Flutter, right? So if you search for like a machine learning integration with the Flutter, there are like a three approaches they are following. That means like three different packages that's used for the same purpose, right? The one is YAML-Kit. This is like the unofficial one, but this is like the more popular one in Flutter development. So if you go to the pub.dev here, and if you search for the YAML kit, this is the first plugin that's listed here. But this one is not coming from like the official. It's like it's not official package, right? But what they did is like it's a nice work. They have integrate like all features available, and they integrated into this particular plugin, right? So they have this recognized test. They mainly focused on like the on-device APIs, and also they have this custom model on-device, custom model cloud, where you can do like the TensorFlow Lite. But the AutoML model, it's not done yet, and the smart reply translation, they need to do this, right? When they are when they have like uploaded this plugin, because previously used this plugin only. At the same time, Firebase released like the Firebase related plugin. That's called the Firebase YAML Vision. So they have this Firebase YAML Vision in for like the YAML Kit Vision for Firebase. And also I notified like they have like a different thing, for example, Firebase language, Firebase YAML Kit language. So this is also provided by like the Firebase. But the name is different. Firebase YAML Vision, Firebase YAML Kit language. It would be confusing, but make sure like you see right in there, right? So you can use this kind of YAML Kit plugins from Firebase itself. So you can use that for your project. And the other thing is you can download the TensorFlow Lite and directly use the TensorFlow Lite package by directly doing the inference and all. But I would suggest like go with the Firebase ML Vision in case if you are doing machine learning with the Firebase, because they are growing they are like giving the first class support with the Firebase related machine learning things. And one other thing I want to show, this is where like I told like in case if you are open source enthusiastic, and if you want to like contribute, I saw like there are a lot of things that's missing in like the Firebase ML Vision or like the ML kit. So you can pick like any one of these. This, for example, here the custom model plugin, right? And also like the AutoML Vision. So those implementations are like not yet done, and also it's being like a backlog for like more than a year. So if you are like interested, or if you want to contribute to the open source, you can go through these tickets. This is in like Firebase extended. So you can go through this and try to create the plugin or like support for the Flutter using this Firebase thing. So that would be like one of the good contribution you can do, so that like you can extend this machine learning integration with the Flutter itself. We'll share these kind of tickets as well. You can go through and see like how that works, right? Okay. Um, with that, I think I came to the end. And as I have said before, I really focus on like the machine learning side, and also I have learned like the how you can integrate with IoT and other stuff. But if you can like definitely try two things. One is Flutter with the Firebase machine learning, and if you want to contribute to the open source, you can go through this plugin, find the own issues, and try to do that. And the second thing is like if you are interested in like a Flutter with IoT integration, let me know. We can have a chat, and I have like a couple of ideas we can work with on. So if you're interested in like the both spaces, let me know. We can have like more conversations. And the other thing is like you are good at Flutter, so I don't have like anything on like Flutter side, but you can try with like the integration part of the Flutter, like machine learning integration or IoT integration, that kind of things you can focus on, right? Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Prince, I shared it in the YouTube, but I didn't have like any example to do in the mobile itself with the live camera preview. But you can definitely check in GitHub because there are like a lot of these kind of face mask detection with live camera. You can definitely found like one of the GitHub repo with that demo. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Good. Okay. I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any questions or give me in my Twitter. My Twitter handle is at ksivamuthu. So DM me. We will discuss more on that one. I hope like you be this session. Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. This is like one of these unprecedented times, right? So stay safe. Keep on learning, and be happy.
First of all, good morning, Mumbai. And today, as I mentioned in topic, I talk about application in Flutter. So, first of all, white label is not like a feature. It's like concept of the anything. Like it's not particular like for Flutter or for React Native or anything. It's like on-demand web application solution. So before I move on this topic, let's do some fun or ask some question to how many are developer in this room or if they have any technical or non-technical background person in this room like project manager or CTO or CEO. I see it is here. So they always believing if we are from the technical background or from the developer, then sometimes we know we are building some feature like login feature or integrate any third party plugin or something that time we're facing many more issues, right? Some plugin will be not working, some functionality will be working on Android side, some functionality will be not working on iOS side, and project manager will the deadline or cover the something to client directly, and then we can say we are not able to provide this build today or something that, so that may be miscommunication between developer and project manager, and developer project manager mentor is always there yeah, 9 women will get together and this is pregnant, then they will deliver one baby in 1 month. So yeah, it's not possible to a real world, but yeah, if we need to build we to deliver one kind of e-commerce application, and everybody know e-commerce application feature they have sign up feature, login option, checkout option, payment gateway integration. So if you are creating your application or you need to integrate particular feature in your application, or you will start from the crashing to start the development, that time is taking us so much time. Even you need the facing so many issues, right? So, but if somebody is already built a feature and you can just add in your product or in your application, that it's taking us too lot time and it's taking us less time to integrate that and fulfill your application requirement. And yeah, so that's the concept for cycling level application. So here is like just my about the thing. So I don't know waste many time in there. So today like here is a key point like I will discuss or like share the what is the white label, how white labeling is work, like what do for the inviting like for the white label partner, pros and cons about the white label, and most interesting thing like how we can build the white label application using Flutter. So is like white label is one kind of service or like a product or rebrandable thing that we can produce by any one company or the same company rebranding or selling and resold to another company. Suppose like company A is producing a pencil, right? And they is directly selling to another agency, to the local client, or any another company. The company B is like purchases the pencil from the company number one, and they can add their own logo, their own color code, their own brand name, their own price, and they again resell to direct wholesaler or like direct local client or maybe direct consumer. So white label is provide the creator service or like rebrandable resale company to you can sell their own product to the direct end consumer. So how like we can like build white labeling work or like how it's working? Like suppose you create one application module related to e-commerce application, and in there you have created the payment gateway integration. So in payment gateway integration, you provided many features like payment will be linked with credit card, debit card, your Google Pay integration, and all the things. And somebody is just need to add this feature in the application from like another developer, another company, or client have requirement to integrate payment gateway in his application, and they start the integration or like any developer will be start the integration that it taking a time, then okay, understand the requirement, then they buy another third party plugin, then after they integrate with the key and parameter, and after the testing many more things, and this like taking a time to on that like building feature, right? So in between, like if we have already created this type of feature, and we can resell this feature particular to who's need to payment gateway in their particular application. So suppose I have created one payment gateway integration feature module, and I'm selling in like $10, and someone is like buying this particular module, and they can just like add the particular feature in the existing project and running the that, and the functionality will be work, and they automatically be getting and linked with the product. So the end consumer requirement will be fulfilled, our requirement also will be fulfilled, and in less time, we can go in market or like we can release our application in market. So white label is like produced by provider to rebrand and resolve the end of the consumer, which give like provider to access of large distribution network. There are resell or reselling that can be expensive product or service without like producing their own goods from the base. That means they have already like someone is already like building some feature, some module, right? So we can just reuse and like we can purchase the particular module and we can reuse in our application with our brand name based on our functionality, with our product key and our access. So it's just yeah. So you many more okay, everybody like like when I starting the design, you can know about the like some of the website we like selling the template in like $15 or like $30 or $20, and they like providing many features like push notification, good UI, many more things. And you think that when we are giving the estimation or like when client will become with us, like we need to building this kind of application feature, we are giving the estimation time like it taking 35 days or something, or like it's 200 hours, and then you need to like give the blah blah. And if like as a company or like as a freelancer, you taking like some charge of like per hours or like based on the feature. But if we like somebody providing the same thing within like a $30 or $40, and last time you they can like end client will be release the application in market and reselling and marketing thing and earn the money from the application, then why like client will be give us to like spend that time like 30 hours or like 3 days or 40 days to build from the crash. So this is like the benefit of the white labeling, and this is like way to like white labeling is work. Here I already said the like example of like how it's white labeling. So yeah, so company A is sorry, yeah, background voice. Okay. So yeah, company X is like white labeling marketing software provider or sell their marketing software to company Y or like any agency or like any end consumer. So suppose an example, this is like a first application, like who is like me or anybody is like building, and this is a one product. So this portal product we can directly sell. They don't have any label. They don't have any. This is the, like they have basic functionality, and like in every bottom they need like bottle, their bottom is or like a rounded shape or something that this bottle like A to sell direct second company, and they will be at the level like as a Coca-Cola or like any other. They at the level, and then the bottle will be sold to end consumer or like wholesaler or any local persons, right? So and then local person will be used like buy this product or they can use and they can like satisfy like this is a Coca-Cola product or like yeah, we can use the Coca bottle. But end consumer don't know like what type of like black labeling product. This company just added the logo or this label, but they directly uses this bottle functionality, right? So yeah, so company once they rebrand the marketing software and their own logo and sell the company with to company like end consumer. Like this customer will directly buy this product, right? They get the many benefit, like their percentage will be less to compare to buy from this person. So this is like concept of the white labeling, and this is the process of like reselling, remarketing, and like providing service and like building the white label application. Still, have anybody have any question or anything? Then please ask me. Otherwise, like I will move on next slide. Parts. This is a try to look like there and not looking this okay. So let's like move on. Everybody is now know about like talking about Geo versus Zoom and right. So do you think like in so short time like Dhirubhai Ambani's son like building the Geo in like within 30 days or like 20 days or less like month the functionality like providing a Zoom, yeah, maybe it's possible like they have like a very big brand or like where they have lots of money to invest and many developer and like building maybe application. But I'm not agree like within 13 days or something less than time they building the same functionality application like same is like Zoom is like existing more than 1 year and the same functionality and same feature will be providing and it's still working is like good without like any bugging or something that. So this is like I think a best example of like white labeling. Maybe Geo is purchasing the all source code and all the things from end company, and then like reselling with their particular brand name, their logos, and their own functionality name and all the things, right? So what to look for the like white label partner. So this is thing like how white label work, like this process of white labeling and like how we can resell or something there. So now if you are, we have already like built the any one software called as the white labeling. So how we can like look as a partner if you have built up any application and you need to sell as a white label to the direct end consumer to the or like any other company or anything. So for that you have to like find the some person they need same kind of feature or same kind of vision or like goal to requirement. Suppose like in market we still need many e-commerce applications are available. In every e-commerce application they have a basic feature to like book to order to payment gateway integration or like send the summary of the booking and like tracking the product or something that. So we need to find the similar kind of goal and vision of the same as our vision. Second thing, the business viewpoint to check who is provided to solid product service and right for the business. So हमें उस बंदे को like find करना है जिसको like same vision और same thing है और there how many company have like a good brand name or they have already many other client or customer or like stability. So we can find as a like partner of our application or like our white label software who is offered to retail service and support. The second thing we need to check like who is like providing some maintenance project or like some provided service after like buying any module. Like suppose we have providing one white label application with like social login integration, and if they have any issues or any problem related, suppose it's working in their model, their application, but it's not working in our application when we integrate or face any issue. So maybe they need to provide the service or support to help to like maintain the same feature in our application. Who is provide second we need to like check who is provide or like service to zip, because like if everybody is building a multiple application, like 3 person is building a same feature with same application and same functionality and all the things. So as the human mentality, we like buy the seller like any product or any item from like who is giving in less price or like cheap price. So yeah, this is the good thing. Another is like who is offering to perform through the reporting. Some like a technical background. If we check that maybe if you buy from another developer code or like you can see the open source code, the displays look good, but when we use that, like performance will be not good. Like when we click on OK button or like payout button, taking so much time, like performing reporting you should not like if they have any crashes. So they providing like this kind of feature we need to check before like as a partner of white label, and their contact term are clear. Second thing, like when we like buying any white label application, then we need to check the contact term is like clear. Like if we buy from the any person and then after the suggest us like they need to compulsory add the logo or the brand name, or like we cannot reproduce or like we cannot reuse of multiple time in our application. So that term we need to check that's like clear or not. So here is like I explained the basic of functionality of like any e-commerce application, and the same common thing we can of like any our client requirement that have such kind of functionality like add to cart, add to apply the promo code, process to check out, put your shipping detail and the place order. So everybody is know as the, like any one kind of like a food application, ordering food or like buying any grocery or any e-commerce application. So this 5 step is basically we need to add or like functionality as our applications, right? So everyone, you know, like if we integrate like a building such kind of feature, like add to payment gateway, manage our card, discard, like apply promo code functionality, checkout process, like shipping detail will be we need to identify like which location, current location, and also like when user will be placed the order, we need to send summary messages like push notifications, like email template, and many more things. So it's taking us so much time to like build this kind of feature. But if somebody is already building this kind of feature, just like add as our brand name or our application name, and the feature will be integrated and easily like work for in our application. So yeah, it's like everybody will be add this kind of feature in our application. So this is a booking flow. So for the e-commerce application. So yeah, the second the props of white label application. So why like everybody like if the all client or like everyone will be like buying some kind of application or like get or like any template, then like some of IT company will be stopped, right? But it's not the same or like a same entirely or same thing. But they have lots of pro to for the like a business viewpoint when like somebody is investing the money in the business. So their first goal is to like go in market and like cover the customer targeted customer and like earn the income. So if we integrate or like use the white labeling process, so the we need to get the small investment. Like as I explained, like if we need to integrate the login or like booking flow, then it's taking like 10 or 15 days. And if you are working as a freelancer or any IT company, they're taking a charge being or based on hours or like is fixed cost, right? Suppose like the building login flow charge will be $200, right? But okay, someone is like providing the same thing in $10. So like 90%, $90 charge will be like investment will be deducted, and I will get the same result or same functionality for my app. So this is a small investment. So another thing is like on-demand solution. So based on the my requirement will be fulfilled with this particular white label product or white label services. And if somebody is or like any configure and customize like my product or my design or my application, So it's like a on demand application. We are going in market and still we need to mark, so we can just get the mark. We don't go to the process how marks will be created, what is the process of like functionality, how like marks will be created and all the things. So we just need focusing on we need the mask, we can buy it and we can use it. So yeah, this is like on demand solution. Another thing is it to brand like this one. Easy to brand. So yeah, as the business viewpoint, so any businessman will be going in market and they from the customer from the and from the his product. So it's like creating a brand too easily. Like where the customer will get it and the whole thing will be used. Then we can they have a particular brand easily to create. And there is like core skill. Sorry, no peer skill required. Like a scope of customization. So as you consider as a mobile application view of design or like user interface, we don't need to like need or think about the user interface thing. We just like need to like build or like your the application. And if you are not from the technical background or like it's not much work, you don't need the skill. You can just integrate the thing as like you can buy the some Firebase skill or like post notification or any third party integration key and just add there and run your product and you can build easily for your application. Minimize the marketing time. So this is like main benefit for the client. They can go and market in minimum marketing time. So like no applicant will be built or any feature will be built in 10 days or like some feature will already built it and they can integrate in 1 day and release the application. So they have like lots of marketing time will be occupied. Maintenance after the release. Another thing like is the developer viewpoint and the client of viewpoint. Everybody know like whole application or like all the feature will be never will be released on one version. They need always until the maintain or update any feature like bug to every time. So as a developer, you can just create a white label application and you can resell on marketplace. And then after you have like provide the more feature and maintaining your white label application. Suppose like in first version you have just provided the push notification payment gateway feature, but after the releasing that, after you can like continuous work on this your white label application feature, and you can release another feature in your application. So yeah, it's a maintaining process and releasing it there. Another is keep your customer is happy. So if you are going market and cover your customer before your target or like before your marketplace, so your customer will be happy. And even like if you go in market early, you can face the many issue like identify the what is the market value right now and what customer will be need. So for the business viewpoint, you can collect the number of issues or number of like requirement or demand from the customer side, and you can fulfill the year easily and your brand or your application or any product service. Let's talk about the concept of label. So if any application or like about the third party integration or like many features, the like lack of the like, everybody is not like similar of the same kind of design. They need like some would be like to like rounded button, some would be like square button or something there. So the lack of custom design, quality of code may be complicated for the development viewpoint. So if like we buy the third party template, so like standardization quality is the different. So if like somebody use a fresher experience person will be developed to white application and we can purchase from them. So they have like do not about following the some standard. So maybe the possibility to cloud based setup. So main problem may be like it's cloud based setup. So we need to compulsory buy the template or like the key of point for like hosting our application and all things. Scalability is limited. Scalability may be it's limited. I don't think this is a con, but yeah, we can consider as a cons. So this is the process of like and what is the white label, how it's work, and like pros and cons about the white label application. So before we start like how to integrate or how to create a white label application in Flutter, anybody have any question or anything, then we can like chat or like talk about that. Other than after I will like move on how to build or how to create white label product using Flutter. Yes.
So I can see like there are no questions. People are understanding and actually they're loving your talk. I can see that. So they're pretty much into your talk. Yeah.
Okay. And one point, if I'm going fast, then please like stop me. So I will going so.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's like start with our like primary example of like Flutter application for the counter. And in this application, we create a counter application for our first brand, and then after we create the two other application from the our brand application. One is like say Hello Flutter, and another is say Hello Flutter Mumbai. So just simple example, we will try to cover like how it's exactly we can like build it white label application in Flutter. So I'm like giving the example. Start with the Android Studio, and so here is the step for to how we create the Flutter application. So you can just like say, open your Android Studio project, configure if you have configured the Flutter in here, and choose the Flutter application and click on the next button and create the default Flutter application. Okay. So once your Flutter application will be created, your project directory will be display look like this, right? And then after we can like the setup will be completed or not. So we can just run our application, and then after we can start create the configuration for white label application. So then first step is to the application and run the application. Second, we like configure the directory for the white label product. So you need to just create the root folder for like as a config, and in there we can create the configuration directory. So here I have created root folder as a config, and in there in library product I have created config.dat file. So in config.dat file we can add like some of dynamic thing in any design, any key of like push notification or any payment gateway things or any like custom define the any key for based on the different product or like different suppose like if we create the integrate the push notification, right? So push notification we need to integrate or configure a file based console. So in there we have different package name or different bundle identification. So yeah, we can define the constant here for to change the dynamic key or key parameter or bundle identification or version. So here I have like created an example to change the header of our application as a dynamically. So I have like created the constant variable for like app heading copy and display is a base heading display. So default application will be I'm trying to run, and default application will be label will display as a taking some time to run. So default application will be running as no brand name or anything, but it's like have a same functionality. Okay. So our default application will be run, and it display here is base app heading. That means any brand we have created a blank application, and we're not giving any brand name or any other feature. This is a core functionality in this application, and they have like counter option. Everybody can we can integrate or plus minus the count based on the click option, right? So now we create the white label application for this example. So first of all, we need to create a configure file, and in the configure, as I say, we need to define the constant here or like key parameter here for the application. Then after we need to change the our package name file and the configuration from Here is one file of like a base or default application, and in there we need to configure our like set up our root path for the configure file. So within applicant, the path will be coming from the configure file, and the name will be displayed from the config. We define the parameter from the config file. So in description, we don't need to change anything. We can just take the configure and set up the path here, and the whole thing will be set as it is the previous, and then after run the application. Second, the configuration file, we add any specific modification or any key in the anything for like configure or like key style or theme, dark theme, black theme, white theme, or anything. We define all the configuration is here. Now we set up the configure path in YAML, and after the set up the configuration file, we get the pull proc update and run the application. And once proc get will be complete, we run the application, and our out is here. So after the configuration or set up the path, So after configure and set up the path, we just need to import one line in our main.dart file, and we display the title here. We display the widget title from in our main.dart file. It's not in brand file, in brand level file. Sorry, white labeling file. So we are like doing for next step to create a brand application from our core application. So what we should need to do, this is the Flutter app is our base application, and from the Flutter app we create the brand application, brand 1 and brand 2. So for creating a brand application, we need to follow the step to create the same, create the another project in root directory, and same is from the Android Studio or from your VS Code file. You can create just default project, and after the default project, we need to configure. We need to link with our base application. So for that, okay. So for the creating a brand application, we need to link with the core application with the core application. Sorry. So here is like I have cloned the brand application from base application, and here I have linked it with the existing base application. So for that we need to change or like assign the path for Flutter application. So you can see here I have added the path for Flutter application. So the core function logic or business logic coming from our Flutter app project, and after like add the dependency or path from the like base application or parent application, then after we create configure file for this brand project. Like we need to add the specific some changes or like any dynamic string or any payment gateway keys or thing. We can define particular this product here, and we can assign the value in this config.dat file. So in the config.dat file, we have added name is hello Flutter. So in the brand application header will display as a hello Flutter, and now we can see in main.dart file, right? And main.dart file the product. Okay. In main.dart file, we will import the config.dart file, and we are displaying the title from app.heading copy, and the whole thing will be same. I forgot to remove this code. You don't need to write the same code here because we the code same already coming from your this, right? So yeah, so second thing we need to like import the config.data okay, or config.data package, and then we can use the value of we need to set the header of the this value of this header. So you can see I have used like title as a app heading from the copy and app coding app coming from the app heading from hello flutter. I cannot change okay, add any like name here. Then it displays the default flutter app dot name here. And another also I have created like a second brand for same thing for like Flutter Mumbai with the Flutter Mumbai package name. So here I assigned title is a Hello Flutter Mumbai for brand 2 and for brand 1 we have defined the title as a Hello Flutter 1, and this is our base application, that means core application. So whenever like integrate or like link our base application with the brand 1 or like brand 2, we need to set up and configure with our base link. So for that we need to configure the path, and we just assign the Flutter a project in the root directory and import the file in method. And after the importing file, we use direct particular parameter in our application. And now we can see this is a like base applications, and you can if we check the application name is Flutter, but it's display base app heading. They have not any other application. Now I'm going to run Flutter brand app. Like that means our first application, like first copy or like white table application. They like extended from the base Flutter app. Okay. So yeah, so now you can see display title is Hello Flutter, and they have the same functionality that we already in the base application. And we can see here the functionality or languages will be of reflected in the existing application. We have not changed or running any another product. We are running run another project, but it still displaying the same same application. That means they have not created any other package name. They are not doing a like clone copy of any same application. Right? When we user will be change anything the in base application, the changes or like particular feature is automatically updating this feature. So we have run it the brand application 1, but hello Flutter world, but is considered display as from base application from coming from the base Flutter application. Now we are like running brand 2 application with title heading name Hello Flutter Mumbai. Okay. So now you can see second brand project will be in this display Hello Flutter Mumbai, and they have the same functionality and same feature. There's come from like brand A and same from basic product application, and the application is the same, but we have just changed it, the name of label based on our requirement of functionality or based on our need, right? So this like concept of white label, and I have tried to like how we can link or how we can integrate or the in our Flutter. Here is like some example, or like I have added the screenshot of my existing Flutter white label application. So in there you can see we have configured many things, like I have added the payment gateway keys like PayPal, Stripe, or Reserve or something there. Then the product variant layout. If we user will need to change many product, different layout, different box, different height or color quality. So from the single file, we can just change the value, and it's automatically reflecting the whole project, and we can resell to and multiple end reseller or multiple end consumer without wasting our time, or like, and we can earn many more amount from them for like in single time investment. We create a single product and we can resell with multiple theme or multiple customization. So here is the main example. I am trying. Here is a step I mentioned already. Just I took it and like explain in using the Endo Studio and like VS Code. So yeah, the same thing I have like explained here. We can like define the app heading, and we can create two different applications for like brand one and brand two, and running the application. One is level of Flutter, and another is level of Flutter Mumbai. And here I will you can now see the like different output for the same application. In our web page application, the title is Hello App heading. For like our brand application is Hello Flutter, and another is Hello Flutter Mumbai. We do not have changes many more things. We can just add the key parameter or like the key value of the our application or our brand name, and we can add the existing feature. They already someone is already building it in their product or the application. I have mentioned it here my repository for like how to integrate and how to add the white label application or create white label application in Flutter. So like if anybody who's like, interested or like know about how we can, they can just clone the application and try to run it. So yeah. So yeah, I think I have almost like try to cover the things and like try to explain. But white label is thing like we cannot easily like cover or like we cannot easily explain. But I have tried to like using the single same like for example. But if we go with like multiple things, like if we change the whole theme, like button functionality and all look, so like you can easily understand. So how like it's look different, and how small changes we can like build it, create or two different applications, we can sell it. So yeah, thank you. And if anybody or like any question, then we can talk. Yes.
Thank you, Shiva. Thank you very much for a talk like white label apps. I pretty much understood the concept. Like when I heard the title, like white label apps, it was pretty confusing, and now it is pretty clear like what exactly it is. I came to know a lot.
Reach out to me on Twitter or anything. As I said, like white label is